Okay, my name is Jamie, and this is kind of like the last video installment of the sex series that I have done for this month. And so there were just a few more topics that I felt impressed to kind of speak on, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So one of the first question that I is, can I be, how do I put it, sexy and godly at the same time? And I would say yes to that. And just with regards to, what sexiness is, I think people have different opinions on what that means, right? Some people are attracted to completely different things than other people are attracted to. So I think that each person probably has their own definition of what they're attracted to physically and sexually. For me, that has a lot to do with who the person is, how they treat other people, their character, their concept of morality and how they live it out, etc. I'm physically attracted to those types of things in men. So, with that being said, I know men are, I've been told, more visual, and I think that when you first hear this question, is it okay to be sexy and godly? My impression is that a lot of people think she's probably talking about maybe how a woman dresses or female sex appeal, etc. And so I think that is where the concept of godliness comes in, right? So we're sexual people as humans, right? God created us that way. Sex is healthy and a good thing. We know that. And we're, if we're single or, if we're married or, whatever it is, we're wanting sex, I'm pretty sure, And so our sexuality is something that is portrayed every day, whether or not we are conscious about it. Now, our devotion to God and this idea of godliness comes about in how we conduct ourselves with this characteristic of sexuality in our lives. So, as a single person, we're not engaging in physical activity outside of marriage. We don't, use our sexuality to manipulate others, whether it be a man or a woman. We're not, provoking other people with our sexuality or being openly blatant and, emphasizing specific body parts of ours or wanting to draw attention to that as opposed, to God and Jesus shining through us, etc. So I think that the idea of godliness comes in insofar as how we govern our sexuality. So it's more instructive, and it's definitely not in opposition there to entirely different concepts, both of which are good, both of which are biblical and God ordained. So I will say that. Next question, what does it look like to pursue someone or be pursued? This is such a great question. All of the questions I write are good questions. So I know, and again, I really, this is not a precursor for any sort of submission that I intend to present to a committee to have it published in an academic journal. This is ostensibly incredibly informal and candid. So I am just speaking from my own personal experience as I feel prompted. So what does it look like to pursue someone? Definitely not a man, so definitely not the one who is pursuing. I can tell you, though, what works with me and what has worked in the past with me, if that helps you men. And if you need other assistance, I know, great men who could tell you how to do this. But I know that for me, men who approach me, what's the right word? Maybe at church, just walk up to me and, want to ask me out, or I'm somewhere, like even coworkers will just, want to ask me out, or, talk to me or look at my body suggestively in order to inform me that they're attracted to me, etc. That never works with me. It hasn't ever worked with me. What has worked and what's working is when a man prays about me, and God speaks to me first about that person. That may sound really over spiritualized to some people, but to some other people, that's really normal. And, they're used to having that conversation with God and hearing from Him and allowing God to direct their lives. And if you don't have it in your life, I would really recommend taking steps to have that be a part of your everyday life, because our relationship with Him is most important. So, yeah, when God speaks to me about a man, or, in prayer in the Spirit, I'm aware of this person, that is a really good way to have me acknowledge you, to have me notice you. And I think that I, can speak for other women also, that that's a really healthy way to, quote unquote, I guess, get your foot in the door if you're really interested in someone and pursuing a relationship with them that could lead to marriage. So, yeah, sounds really simple, but yeah, I think if you're a guy, just pray. And then if you're a woman, what does it look like to be pursued? I mean, just my experience there, where for me, it's just listening to God and allowing Him to lead me and show me, who He's highlighting in my life. And if, when there is a specific man who is interested in me, He'll let God know, and God will let me know. And that's how it happens. And, the man then, and again, I think I mentioned also, like in another video, that I was just taught really traditionally. And so I'm way more of like the courtship type person. So, and I don't like date just to date. Like, it's the man makes his intentions known, and then we start praying about marriage. And that's how it goes with me. So, and that's what I recommend also. I mean, as women, I know for myself, I have way too much to accomplish in a single day. I don't have time, to be, I don't want to say wasting time, but perhaps that's correct. Wasting time, in romantic relationships that are going to lead nowhere. Like, I don't. I love having male friends, but as far as romance, there's just one, and in that one relationship, we pray about marriage, and that's just how it always has been with me, and it's worked out really well that way. I believe I've probably saved myself from a lot of hurt, and yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Oh, last question. Why am I not being pursued? Okay, I hear this a lot. I have, a lot of girl friends who are single and are wondering, what's wrong? Why am I not being pursued? Why are they being pursued? I'm just gonna offer a few simple basic tips. Again, this is just only for women, but the principles are probably transferable to men too. Like, why do I keep pursuing? I don't know. Just, it's just you can take it and use it how you believe will work for you, and how God speaks to you, and how to synthesize the information into your own life. I've even actually been asked by some male friends to help single women kind of get to this place of, being okay with who they are sexually, with who they are with regards to, a confidence level, and who they are in Christ. Because I think that those attributes are important when it comes to someone a man looks for. And I think too, it being really intentional about the type of man you want to attract. godliness and their love for Jesus is obviously the number one priority. And I, the video prior to this one has to do with character, and so all of these things are really, really important. And so taking everything that I've kind of said up until this point in this series into consideration, I'm now going to go ahead and move forward. So being intentional about who you want to attract. We'll talk about that for just a moment. So I'm going to put this in a palatable way. I'll say that, a palatable way. I think it's determining what you want in a marriage or in a spouse, what you believe would be God's best for you, and exhibiting that yourself. Okay. I want to also say something that I think is really important, especially for men, is physical appearance. I think that the way that you present yourself says a lot to them. And I believe that men look for a woman who takes care of herself in that way. And I have a lot of fun with that. I love doing my hair. I love makeup. I love lipstick. I love tights. I love fun clothes. This year I'm wearing all black, so it's been kind of a stretch for me to do that, but I think I've been pulling it off okay. I think it's demonstrating that you're confident in your own body and with your sexuality, because I think men, are obviously wanting that. Men in marriage, they're pursuing a wife to mate with, right? And it's someone that they're going to spend their whole life with. So, it's like, is this person attractive to me? Like, is she pretty? Is she confident? Is she smart? How, is she fun? Like, is she funny? Is she nice to other people? Like, is she a happy person? Like, these things are things that they think about. Understanding that men are a specific way and women are a specific way, and just adapting yourself to meet them where you want them to meet you. That makes sense. It's like when I just finished another course last night, and I had this really long paper I had to write, and I'm the type where, like, I have to get an A. Like, if I don't get an A, there's no reason why, like, I do everything I can to get an A. Like, I make sure. So we were given like a rubric, and like on the rubric it tells us, okay, so like this has to be included, and like this is worth that much points, and if you don't have this specific element, then your grade's going to go down to this, etc. And so, I may not want to write everything the way that they're telling me to write, but I do, because I want an A. If I don't want an A, then I don't necessarily have to, right? I can get a C if I wanted to just write however I wanted to, but because I have these standards and I want an A, I'll do what I have to do that. And I think it's just the same way in relationships. If there's someone you're interested in and you think about what it will take to get that person, to have that person notice you, to have that person agree to marry you, or, then if that's what you want and you believe God's in it, then I think do it. If that means changing something about yourself and that's something you want to do, then do that. You definitely have freedom and have the power to change your life, and you can do that. You can go after what you want, and I think the happiest people are the ones that do. So yeah, I think that is all. No, yeah, that's it.